Relative sustainable abundance means seeking more than enough to meet all human needs and beyond while keeping ecological balance. The most relevant forms of scarcity means we differentiate between scarcity as it relates to human needs and scarcity as it relates to human wants, as they are not the same. Unfortunately, market logic pretends that they are, right? The market cannot separate needs from wants. And this gets to the root of the life-blind value system disorder which continues to distort our culture. The logic goes like this. If there exists any form of scarcity of anything on any level, then we need money in the competitive market to regulate it. Let me explain this a little bit more. One of our international lecture team members, Matt Berkowitz, did a radio interview with a very popular Austrian economist a little while back. And when the subject of scarcity came up, this economist responded with, "Not everyone can have a fancy steak or a Ferrari." This was his definitive view of what scarcity means. Now that may be true. Not every human being can have a 500-room mansion with 3 jets parked in the front lawn with half the continent of Africa as his or her backyard. You see, in theory, we could conjure up anything and use such luxury-based scarcity defenses to support the existence of the competitive market. So what are human needs? Are they subjective? Human needs have been created by the process of our physical and psychological evolution. And not meeting these virtually empirical needs results, as noted before, in a statistically predictable, destabilizing spectrum of physical, mental, and social disorders. Human wants, on the other hand, are cultural manifestations, which have undergone enormous subjective change over the course of time, revealing in truth something of an arbitrary nature. Now, this isn't to say neurotic attachments can't be made to wants, so much so that they start to take the role of needs. That's a phenomenon that occurs readily in our materialistic society, in fact. This is exactly why the previously noted wealth imbalance issues, namely the psychosocial stress response resulting from social comparison, is what it is. It's a part of our evolutionary psychology in many ways. But this is partly why more unequal societies also are the more unhealthy societies, because we perpetuate it. So the Zeitgeist movement is not promoting an infinite, universal abundance of all things, which is clearly impossible on a finite planet. Rather, it promotes a post-scarcity or abundance worldview with an active recognition of the natural limits of consumption on the planet while seeking equilibrium. And what separates the world today from the world of the past is that our scientific and technological capacity has reached an accelerating point of efficiency. We're creating a high standard of living for all the world's people based on current cultural preferences, in fact, is now possible within these sustainable boundaries without the destructive need to compete through the market mechanism. This is made by what has been called ephemeralization, a term coined by engineer R. Buckminster Fuller. And the recognition is very simple. The amount of resources and energy needed to achieve any given task has constantly decreased over time, while the efficiency of that task has increased, paradoxically. An example is wireless satellite communication, which uses exponentially less materials than traditional large gauge copper wire, and of course is more versatile and effective. In other words, we are doing more with less continually. And this trend can be noticed in all areas of industrial development, from computer processing or Moore's law to the rapid acceleration of human knowledge or information technology. And it isn't just physical goods. It also applies to processes or systems. For example, the labor system via automation today shows the exact same pattern. Industry has become more productive with less people, ever-increasing machine performance with ever-decreasing energy and material needs over time per operation. Now, as a brief tangent, some might have noticed I keep saying this word or this phrase, high standard of living. What does that mean? Who is to say what a high standard of living should be? The answer to that question is not who, it is what. And what determines our standard of living is the current state of technology in many ways. And what is required to keep of course, social and environmental sustainability on a finite planet. That's basically the equation. If we as a society wish to keep the value of constant materialism, growth, and consumption, promoting the virtue of having infinite wants, then we might as well just kill ourselves right now, as that is going to be the end result if we continue to push past the limits of the physical world with respect to our resource exploitation and the loss of biodiversity. So I want to make it very clear. This new economic proposal isn't just about seeing how the market is obsolete per se, given our new powerful awarenesses of technical efficiency. It is also about the fact that we need to get out of the market paradigm as fast as we can before it causes even more damage.